Now, why is it that we think that the known universe is larger than we can observe?
Well, one point is that it's expanding, and we always see the same radiation out there, so the glow of the Big Bang. But there are some deeper reasons. The one from the theory of inflation, the 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 best way to explain the universe, the properties that we see, is that it's very much bigger than the piece we can see. So, for example, we measure space to be what's called flat. I don't even have to say what's called flat. It is flat. So if you imagine slices of space, let's imagine slices of them at different times. So you just slice the universe and say there's a big sheet. It's like this table.
Okay, like a
There's a
table.
sheet of space, and there's another sheet, and another sheet. And it can have a geometry, right? It can be flat like a tabletop, or it could be curved like a sphere, or it could be curved in the opposite direction, sort of like a saddle or a bowl. And we can measure that. And when we measure it, we see it's absolutely flat. And that's a very unusual thing for it to be like. It requires, because what Einstein's theory says is that the shape of space, that the curvature of space is determined by the stuff that's in it. That's basically Einstein's theory of general relativity. Put stuff in space and it curves it and bends it and warps it and stretches it and so on. And what we find is that there's precisely the right amount of stuff in the universe to have a completely flat universe. And the explanation, the most favoured explanation for that, is the universe is way bigger than the piece we can see. And so it's like looking at a piece of the Earth. If you look at a little 1 mile square of the Earth, right, then it's flat, right? You have to look at big distances, kind of order the radius of the Earth, or not, bigger than 1 kilometre anyway, or 1 mile, to see that actually you're on a curved surface. And that's one of the ideas about the universe and why it appears to be the way that it is, because it's way, way bigger. So we're just looking at a little piece, and that's why it looks flat. And that's one of the ideas.
Now, when you say flat, like that, my brain doesn't understand this, because from our perspective, when you look up at the Milky Way, you see all these stars all over the place. So if you're saying flat, like how much height and what are you saying in terms of like the way to measure it?
The best
but ultimately, is it making people happier right now? Most technology, I would say no. In fact, you and I were talking about social media before this, about just not having Instagram on your phone and not dealing, and you feel better.
Yes, I think that one of the issues with social media that's been pointed out by many people is that I think maybe particularly Instagram, people look like